Yo, yo, yo. Gonna go with it. Owens. We gonna get to it. Fine. Check my bot. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check my check my shit. Hello, can you hear me? Get to it.
For this one, because my next guest is considered a controversial figure, known for her provocative statements and conservative views. She's built a successful media brand, which includes a popular podcast and a new book called Make 'em a Sandwich: Why Real Women Don't Need Fake Feminism. Despite facing criticism and controversy, she remains unapologetic and continues to push boundaries with her content and her opinions. Please welcome to the Stephen A. Smith Show, the one and only Candace Owens. Candace, how are you? Pleasure to meet you. How's everything?
It is great, and I'm actually so excited. I kept this from your producer because it's too good for me not to have told you as we're running live, because this is a full circle moment. But I've actually met you before.
Okay.
And my ex-boyfriend many years ago was a huge Stephen A. Smith fan.
Okay.
So we watched you and Skip every single morning. And then we went to a Knicks game and he was like, do you think you can get him to give you a handshake? And you were coming in into like after the game had ended. You were obviously in the front. We were not that close. And I was like, Stephen A. Smith, please shake my hand. And then he caught it on camera and then you gave me a high five. And it basically made our whole life, just so you know.
Well, listen, I'm glad we have a fond memory together, but it's a pleasure meeting you. And just for the record, you are not in enemy territory, so I've got a lot of questions to ask you. But before I even get into all of that, I hear congratulations is in order, mother of 3, expecting a 4th child. Is that true?
That is correct. 8 more weeks to go here, so it's just a factory over here.
All right, congratulations, Candace. Congrats. New baby, congrats.
And thank you very much. It's a blessing.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you and your hubby and your family and everything like that. Wishing you nothing but the best. Let's get right to it, Candace. First things first. You know, when you saw the election results take fold and you saw Donald Trump win the election, popular vote, electoral college vote, et cetera, what were the thoughts that ran through your mind when you saw the results transpiring?
You know, I think that the first thing I thought was that old school expression, it's the economy, stupid. You know, we've done a lot and everyone's screaming at each other all the time. There's been all these social movements and he versus her and black versus white. But at the end of the day, people just weren't living well under the Biden regime. I call it a regime, but it gets.
It was a regime. It was a regime. You ain't got to take it back. It was a regime.
Down to how was I living? What were the gas prices? How expensive are groceries? Are you willing to try something different? And I think genuinely there's a fatigue that is setting in, that has set in, that was beginning to sort of percolate, of people that are just exhausted with being angry. Do you know what I mean? Like the media constantly selling, this guy's this guy's that, she's this, she's that. I think we're all just tired, and that's kind of a good thing.
Do you believe that Donald Trump won the election or that the progressive left?
Man, y'all know Big T won the election, man. Hands down, man.
And their thought process, their policy, some of the things that they were spewing, it was more a product of them losing. That's what I've been saying. It wasn't about him winning. It was about America saying, nah, he's closer to normal than what the hell we're hearing over here. We don't like this. And that's what transpired. What do you think it was?
You are completely on the money with that. It was really more that the left lost. And it was a weird... It was very strange to watch Kamala run. I will say that, because
it was more like a party instead of like politics. It was more like a party. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they had all the dancers out there, man. Would have had Megan Thee Stallion turning up at the concert, man. They were getting it in.
she really only ran for
I ain't even thinking about the people, man.
100 days, right? Trump had been running throughout four years, basically, kind of upset about the loss in 2020. And she kind of just comes in and it's almost like a coronation, which I think was disrespectful to the left-leaning voter base. Like it was just, well, he has kind of said he's knighted me and therefore I am the person that you should be electing. And she didn't really work for it and rather was, I think.
Then she got mad when we told her she ain't work for it. You know what I'm saying? And then she got real mad. Then she tried to pull the black card on us.
Quite accusatory. If you don't elect her, it's because you have an issue with women. I don't think Obama's speech to the brothers, the quote unquote brothers, helped him.
The brothers. He did. And I think out of that, man, I think Obama made it even worse when he did that. He tried to put his little 2 cents in. Like we going for that. I think he made it even worse, man.
Many. He's been gone. He's in Martha's Vineyard, living in a house. God knows how much it costs. Not something I could afford. And then he kind of reappears to sort of lecture the brothers about their responsibility. And I just don't think it sat well this time around. Just a different time, a different audience, and people kind of realizing, hey, that's not really enough. Paint me a vision. Like, tell me what you're actually going to do. And
that's why they lost the race. They ain't got no vision. That's why they lost the race. They didn't have no vision. Straight word salad. Word salad. All the woman, word salad.
For me, don't tell me that it's just simply my responsibility to give this woman votes because she's a woman.
You know, I want to transition.
No, you know that ain't what it was, King. They tried to say this. A black woman. She was a black woman running for president. Automatic, you supposed to vote for her because she was a black woman. Hear the truth.
To Trump, back to Trump in this regard, we just saw it. That world just saw. It wasn't a press conference or anything like that. I don't call it that. Him with Ukrainian President Zelensky and how he went at him and what have you. Now, Zelensky, if I remember correctly.
What do you mean? What do you mean how he went at him? And you coming out with that disrespect? You get there with it disrespect.
You didn't speak too highly of him. I want to make sure I'm quoting you accurately. You called him a homosexual actor. Is that true? Did you call him that?
I also just called him the neighborhood crackhead, kind of just goes around asking for money. I called him a welfare queen.
The neighborhood crackhead. Yes, the neighborhood crackhead.
Ghetto. This is the thing. The media kind of had me depicted throughout BLM as this person that uses these words to describe black people. I'm like, no. Let's be very clear. When I'm calling somebody like Zelensky a welfare queen, there's a reason for that. You come here with your hand out, asking, making demands. It's funny because I was having a discussion with my husband about this. And, you know, it's people that tend to need the most that make these sorts of demands. And they're so arrogant. He's taking.
And if y'all didn't watch the interview, man, I suggest y'all go back and watch that. Hey, man, he was determined he was gonna get them planes. He wanted them planes. He wanted them planes, and he wanted that money. That's all he wanted. He wants some planes, and he wants some money, and he can't stand Putin, and he want Putin gone. He don't even want to reconcile. He don't even want to negotiate. He want Putin gone. Ain't gonna happen, player. Ain't gonna happen, little buddy. Little
taking
guy.
Billions away, unaccounted billions, by the way. So you and I have to get to work because Zelensky wants his borders protected, and we can't have our borders protected because that would be a racist thing to ask for. But he's allowed to demand that you and I get to work because he spent all the billions. His wife is shopping in Paris. The oligarchs in Ukraine are all buying yachts. And yeah, I have absolutely no respect for him, but I want to say I have not respected that man since day one. This is not.
And I wish I could just have somebody I can call, tell them, man, hey, we hurting over here, man. Send me like 2.3 billion, man, so we can work it out over here. You dig? Drop that load off, man, so we can work it out over here, man. You know, my people hurting over here, man. Drop that load off. We'll get this thing out of here, man. See?
Not something that's new.
And I'm gonna need some planes too, player. Player. Don't forget the planes, man. I'm gonna need some planes. I'm gonna need a couple missiles. I'm gonna need a couple of everything, you know what I'm saying, player?
I just saw him coming.
It's not something that's new, but what about Trump and Vance and how they conducted themselves? You and I might disagree on this particular issue because I don't disagree with what you're saying in terms of I was on the record saying, listen, you're coming with your hand out, you need money. You might not want to be confrontational. You might want to be a bit more diplomatic, Zelensky, because you're the one that's in need. And Trump wasn't wrong when he said, oh, you don't have any of the cards. You don't have any of the cards. The flip side to it, however, is that the press conference, you're in the Oval Office. We know this is the...
Man, he don't have it in the cards, man, so I don't know what he talking about. Don't have it in the cards. Don't, look, bro. It's just like me playing poker, man, and I know my hand garbage. Like, I know it. I know I ain't gonna win. But I'm a bluff and I'm gonna try to go all in. Man, when they call a bluff, man, the gig up. The gig up when it's time to turn them cards over, man. The gig up. The gig up, player.
The White House, this is in some place in Ukraine, and he's got broken English, and you got the vice president interrupting him. You got them, I thought, somewhat bullying him to some degree. I just didn't think it was necessary. It was a good look. That's where I'm coming from. Am I wrong in feeling that?
How is you bullying somebody, man? You come here asking me for shit. Excuse my French. You come here asking me for shit. Like, bro, I don't need you. You need me, player.
Yeah. No, I think you're perfectly, I mean, these are your feelings. They're valid, right? If that's how you felt. For me, I felt it was refreshing. I'm so tired of politics. I know they always button it up for us. They're constantly telling us, oh, this, and saying things that sound good, but don't actually result in good things. And I think it was sort of the frustration of how much he has taken from America to not come with some respect. And I likened it to, even when you go to your granddad's house and it's your birthday, your mom kind of makes you wear something special. You know, he's going to give you a card and slip some cash in there, $100. Granddad's always good for that. And you just come with some decorum and some respect. This dude has been wearing military fatigues for like 5 years now. Okay. Put on a suit. As soon as he gets out of the car, Trump's like, well, he's dressed up. This should let you know, this should signal to the public that what he's doing is an act. Why? Give me a scenario, a reason why he can't put on a suit. Even if you're in the midst of a war, why can't you put on a suit when you're coming to ask for money? Well, because he wants people to see him as a guy that's downtrodden in the trenches. And he's not that. This guy has been on the cover of Vanity Fair. He's been on the cover of Vogue. He's been on the cover of Forbes. He's doing photo shoots. He did a 3-hour podcast with Lex Friedman. He asked and was...
Damn, player, I thought you was at war. And that's what you spending, he's spending our money on. He's spending our money on marketing and promotion, man. He's still trying to circulate that money back. He's trying to get that for his new album coming out, man. He going running on the press run for his new album without tax money, man. These folks going crazy, man.
Declined a spot to go to the Oscars a couple of years ago. And so this is making a mockery.
Damn.
It's just making him put on a suit.
See,
you know?
this is why people got to be careful about messing with you, because I was getting ready to disagree with you until you threw out those last. I didn't know he tried to go to the Oscars. I didn't know he tried to be on the cover of Vogue. I didn't know that stuff, Candace.
Yeah,
I honestly.
He was showing out, man. Like, look, check this out, man. Hey, if you at war, man, like, what is it for you to be at the Oscars, man? There's more shit going on, player. And you trying to be on Vogue. You trying to Vogue. You trying to be on the magazine. You ain't got no suit on, though, player. Like, how you gonna get fly like that, man?
He didn't know. Okay, that does change it a little bit.
And he is a literal.
I even look how Stephen A. switched up. He was like, man, I ain't know that. He was out there, yo, man, he out there putting on. Using that tax money. He out here on marketing and promotion run.
Actor, by the way, you know that, right?
That I know. What I will say this, though, any sympathy for the fact that Russia did attack his nation? I mean, that there is some sympathy for that, right? We see that.
Hey, how can it be some sympathy, man? You trying to go to the Oscars. You ain't worried about no war. You trying to go to the Oscars. He trying to pose on Vogue. He trying to put his little man on Vogue.
The rubble. We see the catastrophe that is Ukraine. We see Putin bombing them, for crying out loud. We've seen that happen, right?
Yeah. So the thing for me is, and the reason why I say that I've had this opinion since the very beginning is I don't rely on politicians. I think all politicians lie. And so I was reading the transcripts leading up to this moment of Putin's speeches and Biden's speeches and trying to discern what the truth was. And Putin was saying, you guys gave us assurances that NATO was not going to expand 1 inch eastward into our territory. Essentially, NATO is a military. We were putting a military on his border, despite in 1989, when the Berlin Wall came down, as a condition, an agreement for them to agree to take down the Berlin Wall. We promised, and you can go look at this in NSA declassified documents, James Baker.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, man, if y'all watch my show, oh yeah, man, this is a good time. Y'all to like and subscribe, man. The subscribe button, man, don't take you nothing, man, to hit the subscribe button. Like I said on the last, Who Got Heat, man. That's what this is all about, man. Like, look, bro. If I told you to bag up on my border, man, don't come no closer to my border, man. Leave it at that. Man, y'all steady want to keep on pushing the issue, man, and trying to get closer and closer and closer and closer to my border. When I send them things at you, man, then you get mad, then you want to call the USA, and you want to get in and try to call a big bad wolf on them and all that, man. That ain't going to help you. Like, bro, it's just respectful, man. That used to be Russia. And how did he lose it? So it's only right did he get it back. Y'all mad about that, man. That's why Trump said that, either we can work this out, man. We can get a peace agreement. We can end this. You coming here talking crazy. You want money. You want air defense. You want airplanes. And you want more money to go on your press run to be at the Vogue, to be at the Oscars. And you think we supposed to pay for it? Like, bro, don't you think we get tired of taking care of everybody? Like, when is going to be time to take care of the United States? Instead of taking care of everybody. Come on, man.
Was the Secretary of State at that time.
Yes, he was.
We promised them that we would never move NATO eastward. So you have to imagine the
That's what you said. You said you would never move it close. And he out there inching over and over and over. Like, bro, like I ain't got no eyes and I can't see. Like I can't see. You did.
memory that they have. And they're going, why are you now doing that? Now, all of a sudden, we're saying that Ukraine is going to join NATO. And he's saying this is unacceptable. America can't keep changing its mind. And so when I was able to validate what he said and to read the speeches, you cannot walk away from that without understanding that we are the aggressors. Everything that we say Russia is.
Yes, Zelensky. Look. So why you ain't been wanting to join NATO? You just now want to join NATO now? Like after all this been going on, you just want to join NATO now? All the money and all the bombs and all the stuff you done already got. You don't want your little place. You want to join NATO now? Now, know if you join NATO, right, it's going to be an instant war. Like instant. Right there on my border, dog.
Doing, recreating the Soviet Union. We are doing that. What is the European Union? What is NATO? And we've been getting away from it for too long under this guise of quote unquote spreading democracy. So I fundamentally disagreed with what I saw as Western propaganda trying to paint Putin as a monster for holding us to our promises and not telling the public that. He just randomly woke up one day and just said, I want to do hood rat stuff with my friends. And he went in.
I'm just going to go over here and just bomb Ukraine for no reason. Like, why they do that, man? He ain't just sending bombs over there for no reason. Like, and I think that's what some of y'all people think out there. Like, oh man, he just bumming and he killing him. No, bro. You breaking the agreement that what we had. And I ain't finna let you just keep on playing with me.
Into Ukraine. That's a fairy tale. That's not what happened. And not beyond that, like you saw when he sat down with Tucker Carlson, he asked to join NATO himself. Why are we not having a productive relationship with Russia? I call that Cold War.
Then listen to that, man. Think about that. Now think about that. Now, how great would that be if Russia joined NATO? Then we won't have to worry about NATO having wars with Russia or none of that. We can be all one peaceful human race. How about that, man? Y'all like that? Y'all don't like that? Zelensky don't like that, man. He don't want to see that. Nobody want no peace. Look, bro, we ain't going nowhere. We're on this same spaceship together. We ain't going nowhere. Might as well get used to living with each other.
Hangover. People that grew up under their desks afraid of a nuclear bomb can never see Russia outside of being villainous. And quite frankly, I think Zelensky he suspended elections. He's locked down churches.
Man, Russia has been supposedly the bad guy since I can remember. I was born in the 70s. Since I can remember. But they still ain't went to war. And they still ain't went to war. Man, I know if I got beef with somebody, man, look, bro, we ain't finna go no 40 and 50 years and we won't go ahead and get it on. Or are we really at war? Am I really your enemy? I might not even be your enemy. You did? But they just might want to paint the picture that I'm your enemy.
He's locked up nuns. I'm a Christian. I don't like this guy at all.
At all.
Just don't like him.
That's Candace Owens being quite honest. I get that part. Let me transition to you specifically and get to the real reason I wanted you on this podcast. First, before I even get into that, I want to ask you, I know your voice is very, very powerful. For those of you who don't know, top 10 on Spotify. I mean, you're one of the top podcasters in the nation, if not the world. I know everybody tries to listen to you, and they should, because you are not an idiot. You know what the hell you're talking about, and you can challenge anybody, and I give you credit for that. I got to ask, however, though, leading up to the election, your voice was far more conspicuous in the past, over the last several years, than it was right before the election. Am I wrong in saying that? And if I'm right in saying that, why was that?
Yeah, so there were some life changes, obviously. I was pretty publicly fired. So there was a lot of things that I was just doing, trying to start my own business and to get back onto the airwaves. But going back to what I said earlier, I have had sort of a fatigue with politics. You know, I was quite bored, really, with the same arguments. I need a...
Just think they wanted her to be quiet so much they had to fire and get out the airways some type of way. And here it is. She back on the airway and in the top 10. In the top 10. The top 10. So my question is, who is the exec that made one of the worst decisions? I can just imagine what your airway is like right now. It's probably going down. Probably going down right now as we speak. Your airway is probably going down.
a little bit of a challenge. And for me, I like people to argue things honestly. Whatever your opinion is, it's totally fine, but just let's argue honestly and not use all the same rhetoric. And so to be this far into, this is like the third time Trump is running and we're seeing the same thing. Oh, everyone who supports him is a racist, is a sexist. I'm just bored, and I've always
Hey, they told me I was what's the one from the Boondocks? They tried to say I was Uncle Ruckus. Cause I ain't want to go along with the Democratic Party. They tried to call me Uncle Ruckus. I was a sellout. I was, I went for my people or none of that. What else they tried? Man, they said everything about me. You wearing that Trump hat, man. You ain't. But I can't say all of that. But man, look, bro, my own people talk bad about me, man. I'm talking about talk so bad about me.
by the way, been very passionate about culture, vaccines. I'm also a mom now. So in the beginning, I was married. I had no children. Mm-hmm. Now my interests have naturally shifted since becoming a parent. And so I think people are seeing more sides of me. Mm-hmm. And in many ways, I'm growing up publicly. Mm-hmm. And it's been refreshing, refreshing kind of take people on the journey and to show people that I'm not just a Trump supporter, which the media did a very good job of painting that caricature of me.
You don't think that's an act? You don't think that's an act?
And if she was, what's the difference? Did she tell you a lie? Or did she tell you the truth? Or did she give her opinion and the best knowledge for everybody to take in? You just didn't want to take it in? Or what was it? To be in the top 10, somebody listening. Somebody listening.
I don't want to call it a caricature, but you don't think that's an accurate description of you as being a Trump supporter?
No, I am a Trump supporter, but I'm not just a Trump supporter. Understood. And I think in the beginning, they kind of made it seem like I was always angry, always talking bad about Black people, which is like any person that listens to my podcast. White people get it 10 times worse, but the media will only pluck a clip when I'm speaking about a Black issue. Mm-hmm. And then it's, oh, there she is again saying stuff about Black people. They did a very good job of conditioning, I would say, the public just via the mainstream media and flashy headlines.
But see, that's what made them lose the race. Look, bro, we get tired of hearing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like when I was growing up, man, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? First, you gotta be a Democratic. You gotta be a Democrat. You gotta be a Democratic. Then, bro, you can read, you can write. You can go look it up. And you mad that people be Republican. No, you're going over to be a Republican. How you gonna be a Republican? You're not supposed to be a Republican. Right, so either you're right, either you're with me, or either you're against me. Either you want me to do it your way. When people don't do it your way, then you mad. But guess what, man? I'm kind of happy I did that. And let me show who the fake people were. It sure did that.
To think that I had, like, they called me like a self-hating Black person. Right. It was completely wild. It was out of control.
Well, listen, this is the thing, and this is the thing that gets me in trouble, because obviously me being a Black man, me being a centrist, sort of center left as opposed to center right, I've been one that was inclined to vote Democratic, at least for the presidency for the vast majority of my life. If it was anybody other than Trump, I think I would have voted conservative.
But he voted Democrat. So he fell for it too. No matter all that shit he talk a bunch of shit on here, but he fell for it too. And he voted Democrat. And he said he voted Democrat.
conservative this time around. I'm sort of becoming even more enlightened. I'm going to use that word because I was so disgusted with the left and what I saw. My patience is run thin at times. And then I've listened to you over the years. And one of the things that I didn't like is like what you just described, what people would say about you. And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. Is she wrong? What is she saying that you disagree?
Yeah.
How come you can't say you disagree with and make your points as to why, like she does, as opposed to just attacking her?
God, they don't want to hear it, bro. Soon as you say that you mess with Trump or you gonna vote for Trump, all bets are off. They don't want to hear nothing else you got to say, bro. And I can get on the phone with somebody, I ain't gonna say their name, but I can get on the phone with somebody, man, and I sure know how to get off the phone with them, cause that's all I have to do. All I gotta do is start talking about, man, you see the good job Trump did, man, and how he talking about he gonna get this money back, and he gonna do this, and he gonna do that, man. They like, man, well, hey, well, shit, player, hey, I holler at you later on, player, man, cause I ain't finna go there with you. I am not finna go there with you. So, man, I kind of feel it. I feel it.
Which brings me to my next question.
What?
What's it like being a black conservative in America? No.
Oh, it feels wonderful. Feels wonderful. Feels wonderful. It is wonderful. Oh, I bet I
Nobody better ask this question than you.
Honestly, it's a hell of a lot easier than it was when I first got into this back in 2015, because that was the first time they saw Trump, and people just could not see past how could this possibly happen. And I think the media had a stronger.
Hey, but what's funny about that is, man, I'm old enough to remember, man, look, everybody used to go on Trump's show. It used to be one of those great things to hear him say, man, you got fired. Man, now as soon as he ran for president and he actually won, it's like, I hate to say this, but it's like Trump turned black. It's like he turned black, y'all. He became a black person. And they couldn't stand it. It was worse than when Obama took office. I tell you that, but it was worse than when, like, they couldn't believe it. But after Trump got it, they couldn't believe it. It was
hold on people's minds then that it does now. Now we've seen the explosion of independent media. People are able to get their voices out outside of the New York Times and CNN and Fox News, and that's helped tremendously to defeat all of these media caricatures that are being created. But I find it now, it's pioneering, to put it in a nice way, and I think it's the most rewarding thing ever when what I have found is that if you just stand for truth, even in the beginning when it's really hard and people say terrible things about you, and I've been called everything you could possibly imagine, then there's that moment, even if it takes years, where they do come back and they say you were right, particularly about BLM. I mean, I was hitting the drum about the finances so early, and I'm going, this, like, I'm not saying that you don't have feelings about this thing, but I am telling you something else is going on, and this is going to harm the Black community in the end. This money is just going to be zapped out of communities, and communities are going to be destroyed. And then when that was proven right, it was so refreshing to hear people say, yeah, we kind of hated her for a really long time. We're kind of saying this for a really long time. And then, the fraud of Patrisse Cullors and what they were doing with the money. And so my brain just works differently. I am different, and I'm happy being different. I don't want to be the same. But I also do respect, I think I've learned in the process as well, is to just respect where people are at. My sisters did not like where I was at when I started speaking in the way that I was speaking.
How many sisters do you have?
I have two sisters, and they're my best friends. So one is a year older, one's a year younger. So we're like a trio.
So they sandwich you. They sandwich you. They won't get you. They sandwich you, huh?
Well, they just didn't really care.
Right.
To me, that's Candace. I've always been different,
Right.
and they didn't know what I was on or what I was thinking. And now this last election, they voted for Trump, which is crazy. Like, that means they were fully on the left.
Oh, yeah. Sooner or later, they're going to get on board. They're going to get on board. Trumpinator. That's what I call them, Trumpinator. They gonna get on board with the Trumpinator. They might not like them now, but when those chicks come in, they gonna show like that Trumpinator. They gonna be like, grease my palm, Trumpinator. Need that cash, buddy. Need that cashinator. Trumpinator, cashinator. You don't need that bail.
And they just sort of saw it. And so it's just been cool to see that. And they now like my podcast. Before they didn't even listen to it. But we always had, I grew up obviously in not obviously, but my family has a great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the worst things I hated about BLM is that I've always thought that Black people culturally, we're the funniest. Mm-hmm. We're the funniest.
No shit, Sherlock. I don't know why y'all don't understand that, man. That's what they mean by the culture. That's what I think it means. It seems like once we get to doing it, everybody want to do it. They want to do it just like how we do it. And ooh, I love the way you do it. So just do it.
You always want to go listen to Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, and you saw that removal where everything was just taken so seriously. We're so easily offended. And I hated that. I thought the best parts of what the Black culture represented to me growing up was removed. And for me, my sisters, they never cared. Like I'd be like, can you watch my cat? I have to go to a Trump thing. And my sister would be like, oh, are you going to another one of your Klansman rallies? Like, yeah, I'll watch your cat. You know, it was always a joke.
Yeah. And I get.
I would tell you that though. Man, you can't even have fun no more, man. You can't even join nobody, man. Like, and I think that's what's wrong. See, back growing up, boy, we was bad to join somebody. You get the fucking up around them, man, they join your ass bad enough, I bet you won't do that shit no more. I bet you won't do that shit no more. Man, let them folks clown your ass. You going out here and you spending your money on some of that, boy, they gonna clown your ass, I bet.
Get it, and I guess for me, because I think about it, and I remember when you showed up, I believe it was in Paris, you were with Kanye West, and you were wearing the White Lives Matter shirt and what have you. And I said, damn. And
oh, they were so mad about that. I remember that. They were so mad. They were yeah, you don't want the White Lives Matter. Bro, what? We should write on the Hermes Matter, man. Hermes Matter, man. Listen, bro. Just a shame that y'all don't understand. We all create with each other, man. We all create with each other.
And I was upset. I was actually upset at you.
You can't create. You ain't no Herman. You can't create other Hermans.
Here's why, Candace, because I looked at it and I said, no, don't give the ammunition. Don't give the ammunition. You can sit up there and you can talk to folks about your views, what you know, and educate folks without them being closed-minded because they saw something and visualized something and automatically deemed that you were against us as a people.
Right.
So, I mean, as you reflect on a moment like that and you talk about the Black community and politics, how do you feel? How do you gauge what's the right thing to do and what's not the right thing to do?
You know, for me, the discussion and polite discussion, it doesn't work. I have found that. You can go back and watch me on stage with T.I. and Killer Mike, and it doesn't work with the Black community. And I have a theory on this, and I think partially it's because we have this instance of father absence, but there's a lot of attitudes. There's a lot of attitudes.
Lord have mercy. And she are absolutely right. Like, man, I be seeing some of y'all young folk, man, it seem like y'all just be mad for no reason. I seen some of y'all old folks, and y'all be mad for no reason. Bank account look good. You got a beautiful wife. kids great. They doing good in school, everything. Man, still got a fucking attitude. Like, man, I can't stand goddamn Steve. Steve rolled over a rock in front of my driveway. I don't believe Steve goddamn pulled his truck over. That's my goddamn rock, Steve. Don't nobody pull on my rock but me, Steve. How the hell you gonna pull on my rock? Just mad for no reason, man. No reason at all. Attitude. And hard to do business with them when they got an attitude all the time. I can be explaining to you, oh man, look, man, you trying to whip me out my money, man, and look, bro. Ain't nobody trying to take your money, none of that, man. It's mad for no reason.
And if you try to come politely, you're just going to get disrespected. And so in terms of the White Lives Matter shirt, first off, Kanye, that's how he communicates. He communicates with art. That's like, this was Kanye's thing that I was stepping into, but I understood what he was saying there because he is someone that does not like, no one puts Kanye in the corner. No one tells Kanye what he has to be. And so when you start saying, oh, I'm going to superimpose you just being a black victim onto someone like Kanye West, and you know, he hated when white people would come up to him and say Black Lives Matter. So he's like, okay, you want to patronize me? Oh, let me patronize you. Your life matters too, right? Like, oh yeah, like white lives matter too. And I want you to know that white lives matter. Your life matters. He never liked that, the patronization of it. And so I felt the same way.
But y'all fall for it every time, man. I don't know if y'all gonna ever get it or not. Y'all sitting around waiting on somebody to come and save you and take care of you. Well, you can just get up and do it yourself. You can get up and do it yourself.
And we communicate differently. I usually am using more bombastic words, but that moment to me, especially as someone who grew up and really Kanye's music kind of gave me the courage to be myself, to not have to be an archetype of what a black woman should be. It was a moment for me that I reflect on very fondly. And yeah, it broke the internet, and it started a lot of conversations. But imagine if black people were just like, yeah, every time I saw a white person, I'm with you. Your white life matters. It's just.
Oh man, they ain't gonna do that though.
There's something about it I just don't like. It wasn't for me.
You brought up the use of bombastic words. You used that with George Floyd as well, who was murdered by a police officer in Minnesota. And obviously a lot of people in the black community had a real problem with you as it pertained to that. That brings me to this question. When you take these positions, does it enter your mind? I don't want to use the word vitriol because I think that's a bit too strong and that's unfair to you, and I don't want to do that. But when you consider the fact that so many people in the black community have voted Democratic since the civil rights legislation in 1964. Remember what Lyndon B. Johnson said, that, you know, you pass this legislation and we'll have the Negroes vote for us for the next 200 years. Remember that statement? I know, I remember that statement.
Why? Because we wasn't voting Democrat. We wasn't part of the Democratic Party. Roots coming back home.
I'm wondering, because of your knowledge of politics, your obvious knowledge of the issues, when you speak on these things and you take positions about, you take such positions, particularly if it's antithetical or the antithesis of what the black community will point to, do you think about it and do so on purpose because, dare I say, you're disgusted with us as a community for being hoodwinked by the Democratic Party in your eyes? Is that possible?
So that's a very good question. And disgusted would not be the right term for it. Frustrated, yes, and constantly trying to give people the facts so that they understand that we Lyndon Baines Johnson was an avowed racist and he hated us. And yet we are doing everything that he wanted us to do. We are reacting emotionally and not rationally. We seem to be a stereotype of irrationality, actually. All we have to do is make them feel something and they won't react. And I want to be clear, it's not just Black Americans. The Me Too movement was another manifestation of that. That's why I'm doing this Harvey Weinstein series. But what really does upset me about the Black community is that the manner in which we defend criminals, you will not find this in any other community. Okay, so white person gets shot, killed, unarmed. They're not coming out. White people are not coming out and burning down their own neighborhoods, right? They're going to be
Did you see the Black community attack me for going off about OJ being celebrated? Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, they've conditioned us to actually defend the worst in our communities. They just will.
And that's a damn shame. And what's messed up about it is most Black people don't even see. All this free big home and such and such. Free big home and such and such. Man, free big home and such and such. Man, big home got goddamn the wrong cases over here, the wrong cases over here. He wasn't doing nothing positive in the community. He wasn't taking care of nobody in the community. See, that's what I hate about y'all young, supposed to be YNs, and don't know what it stands for, man. See, back in the day, we used to take care of the neighbors. Like if my home and mama came home, man, and she had groceries in her car, man, everybody went out there and got them groceries out the car, homie. If somebody, grandmama came around and she was finna come down the steps, man, we hurry up and ran over there. Y'all done broke that up. It ain't none of that no more. Bro, I remember it was a time, man, I used to try to hustle, man. And the big dope boys around the hood told me, man, look, bro, you messing up the spot, man. You supposed to be in school. I'm supposed to be out here. So what we advise you to do, man, is get your little ass and right from around here. Go on somewhere. This ain't what you want to be doing, player. You better go to school and learn something. Oh, nah. Man, free John. Yo, man, I goddamn wacky, such a goddamn boy, man. Look at what just happened, man. Rapper just got killed. With his 5-year-old daughter. Then some of y'all on the internet like, man, that cool. Man, that shit ain't cool. Y'all think that shit gangster. That shit ain't gangster. Scarface didn't never do no shit like that, bro. That shit wasn't gangster. Y'all, bro, I don't know. Y'all think that shit cool.
Let it go. You think Chinese people are going to run outside if they're like, well, listen, this guy was high on fentanyl. He got into a brush up with police officers and he died. Chinese people will be like, especially Asian moms are just dead serious. They'd be like, you idiot, good for you. So you're an embarrassment. Never come home. This is how Asian women are. They have a standard. You think Jewish people are coming outside and gonna, rally around? No. They all know that they think of that as like a natural process. We don't want to associate with that. And we have the exact opposite mindset. And in when I say
right, we want to associate with that. Man, that boy around now, man, he doing this and he doing that, man. Hey, boy, I want to be around. I want to be just like him. I want to go over there and do it. Bruh, that ain't what we was doing. I was trying to get out the hood, man. Y'all stay in the hood and want to stay in the hood, man. We was trying to get out. Trying to stay out. You did. Y'all tripping.
Exact opposite. I mean, also the reverse of that being that the most educated and the most accomplished people in our community, in terms of their intellect, we reject. How can we ever get ahead, right? Oh, Condoleezza Rice. No, she's a traitor. She's an Uncle Tom. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, he's a traitor. He's an Uncle Tom. But Dr. Ben Carson, a literal brain surgeon. Black people will call him stupid. It's crazy.
He a sellout. Yeah, he a sellout. He did Michael Jackson in. All that dumbass shit.
So there's no way Black America can get ahead with that backwards mindset where you put George Floyd on.
I'ma say it with that dumbass shit, man. With that dumbass shit, man. Man, my method is, look, bro. Stop looking behind you, man. Look in front of you. So you can drive straight. You did.
On a t-shirt and you denigrate and disrespect someone like Clarence Thomas. I'm just not with it, you know?
You got a new platform called Club Candace, and I'm wondering how important is I know you're going to speak your truth. You have proven that time and time and time again, okay? But in the process of doing so, as you have this new platform, how important is it for you, if at all, to reach and resonate with the Black community, or to really, really provoke change all across the board, particularly in the United States of America? Where do you lie with that?
Yeah. The number one thing is for me to reach people who want to hear the truth. And so that comes in all different shapes and sizes and colors. And our demographics have really changed. It's very mixed. People all around the world. Like I have, shockingly, I would say in Africa, they absolutely love me. I mean, like the amount of Nigerians who listen to my podcast daily, Uganda. So it's not a color thing. It's important for me to get information out that I don't think would otherwise be available. So with Club Candace, I have my vaccine series. I am quote unquote anti-vax. I don't vaccinate my children. And I want people to know why. I want people, especially if you want to talk about something Black Americans should learn about, it's the vaccine industry. We were targeted, what was sent over to Africa to experiment and make people infertile. Hispanic women, Native Americans, and Black Americans were experimented on. And this is the stuff that matters. And so.
And this ain't no question, and this ain't no allegedly. We already know that this to happen. You did.
So also, obviously, the book club to introduce them to the books that I read outside of the school system that kind of helped forge a lot of my opinions, a lot of my political opinions. And so that's really fun that we meet every 2 weeks. And so you're just getting kind of whatever goes on in this headquarters of crazy. It's all happening at Club Candace.
Make them a sandwich. Why real women don't need fake feminism. Explain that title, please.
We just need to destroy the feminist movement. It's just so toxic. And I think that on the heels of Kamala's loss and, this.
Hey, man, somebody.
Women are unhappy because they're being told to compete with men. We are not like men. We are not built like men biologically, mentally, physically. We are just not men. And the idea that to be equal in society, I have to have the same aspirations as a man is going to be something that makes women chronically unhappy, which is what we're dealing with today. And learning the real history of feminism, and I'm mimicking Gloria Steinem, a famed photo of her, who was actually a CIA operative, will wake people up to the fact that these decisions that are being told to you of like, yes, the feminist movement was amazing, was the CIA looking for a way to tax households 2 ways. And it has not led to the enriching of the household. It has not led to the enriching of our life experiences. And the biggest joys in my life are being able to be at home with my children and my husband. And I'm just tired of being told that makes me somehow backwards. We got to defend men.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, listen, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about that. Not even a little bit, all right? You recently interviewed former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein.
Because, nowadays women don't want to don't even want to be women. They want to be men. They want to be just like their husband. They want to be men now. They want to run the house. They want to tell you to bend over. They gonna come in and slap you on your buns.
Weinstein from prison. Why did you want to talk to him, and what was the most surprising thing you got from it?
I have been a hater of the Me Too movement since day one. Even before I had sons, and now I have 3, I knew that we need due process, and watching men lose their entire lives on the basis of an allegation. I mean, I could have literally ruined your life, Stephen. I could have been like, he touched my hand at that Knicks game, and I remember this and cry. You've been done. Canceled. Over.
So, I got this question to ask, man. If 2 women say a man touched them, or it can be one woman and her friend say a man touched them, how is that man gonna get out of that situation if he did not touch that woman? It ain't no way.
Over forever, and that's wrong, okay? Because women lie. Men lie, women lie, facts don't lie, and we need due process. And so the Harvey Weinstein case, someone brought it to me and said, take a look at it. And I actually thought he was guilty when I first got on the phone with him in prison. And we're totally on different sides of the political spectrum. But a friend had reached out and said, I think you'll be the only person that will actually take a look at this and tell the truth. And I've just always been committed to telling the truth. And it is my belief, and I think that once I show the public the facts of this case, that Harvey Weinstein was wrongfully convicted, and his a case just got overturned in New York, as it should have, and now it's being sent back down in the appellate courts. So it's got to be retried. And I just want we got to go back to the beginning, and we got to put this genie back into the bottle and back into the Me Too bottle, and it all begins with Harvey Weinstein. And so I'm really excited about bringing that series forward.
Got you. Before I let you get on out of here, my producers in my issue mispronounced Kamala Harris's name twice. I want to make sure you didn't do that on purpose. You didn't do that on purpose.
No, I just don't know how. What is it? Is it Kamala or Kamala?
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
That's what I said. I said
really?
Kamala.
That's right. Well, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right. You said Kamala.
Is it really her name? Is it really her name? Where's the grandma at that everybody was talking about? Where's the grandma at? I ain't done. Where's the grandma at?
But don't even worry about it.
Send her to me. She's
Look, you see how she hit it with it? Cause you know.
got an issue.
I got you. Listen, I know you got to go. Thank you for your time. I just want to say one thing to you. I've interviewed a lot of liberals on this show. I'm telling the conservatives they're welcome on the show too. If I'm wrong, correct me. If I'm right, agree with me. I'm not in this game, contrary to what they've been writing about it. I like being fair-minded and giving everybody an equal platform to express themselves. And I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. I really thank you for it. And you're welcome back on the show anytime. Thank you so much.
I would love to come back. Like I said, this feels so full circle to me, from the high five to this. So thank you so much.
Works for me. You take care of yourself. All the best. I want to get in to what we just heard from.
All right, man. So that's that on the Candace, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning in today, man. Had a great time with y'all guys, man. We'll be up next Monday for the Who Got Heat. We'll be up Saturday for the Hood Certified. So y'all tune in to Hood Certified this Saturday. Man, Who Got Heat every Monday. Know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing, man. Help me with the algorithm. Help me get this thing out to more people, man. Just want to say thank y'all for tuning in, man.